have you gotten just within your own industry? Like, how hard do you feel like it is to hold these views, to be out with your views in what is similar to comedy, a very kind of default lefty liberal industry?
Oh, so if you are not like wildly progressive to the point where I would say it's like dangerous, then you're definitely an outlier in the industry. And then all of a sudden they give you every negative label, like you're this ist or whatever. I've been blocked by some people that I've never even met. And I'm like, why did she block me? That's so weird. We've never exchanged at all. And it's just that I diverge too much. And I mean, obviously, I'm not so conservative that I don't do porn, right? Like that's not the thing, but I just value individual freedom more than anything. I value extreme ownership. So when it comes to people that blame someone like me or Brandi for their ailments, that doesn't make sense to me, right? Like you're just as likely to be addicted to something else, and this just happens to be your medium. And then if you want to take it further, all of the neuroscience to date suggests that there is no such thing as porn or sex addiction, right? It's like it's more of a compulsion issue or a procrastination issue. So again, you're pointing out something that doesn't really even exist and has nothing to do with me, and it has everything to do with like that person that's going through that struggle. And it's not to take away from that, right? Like that sucks. And I hope whoever is dealing with that figures out a way to shift their mindset, because that's really what it is to shift their mindset to have a better and like more loving reality. But to like demonize us because we have these beliefs doesn't make sense. And then we're left with nothing, right? Like I have very few friends in the industry because I don't agree. I've lived in the South for most of my life. I also would say like, I'm very patriotic. I tend to line more up with conservative values. That's not to say every conservative value, right? Like Second Amendment, amazing. Weed, also, why is that not legal everywhere? Like, support gay rights. Like it's to hit me with the topic and then I can give you my opinion. But on like from the industry standpoint, it's like, well, if I left, and I'm sure Brandi's like aware with the situation. I left like right when there was a lot of issues with like trans performers coming into mainstream, and that caused like a lot of damage. Like someone actually took their life over this kind of stuff. And I was pretty vocal about it because one of the people that led the dog pile was then hosting a show. And I was like, this is such bullshit. Like this is a really bad look. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, she's transphobic. I'm like, no, I'm not. Like I have trans friends. Like that's not what this is about at all. And they just like, if you're again, not like on the extreme end, then you're this terrible person, and they don't take the time to even have a conversation with you to see what you actually believe or what your principles are, or if you are a good person. It's just like, you are this, you voted this way, you must be racist, you must be transphobic, you must hate all immigrants. Like they just like throw everything at the wall at you.
Yeah, I completely concur. I had an extremely similar experience. And what's super bizarre is when you don't conform to the mentality or reform, and usually even then it's too late because they'll hold everything against you that you did before. So always stay true in your beliefs. But they throw the words at you. First they try bigot, then they try racist, then they try homophobe, then they say transphobe or whatever your phobia. There's a phobia for everything. And trust me, they'll go through the whole list. And then they'll even throw in potentially pedophile. That's the one that they figure clearly will shut you down. And I bring this up because that's what the white nationalists are pushing. I mean, it's so egregious and so clear. They're at least they're consistent. So you can see it coming. Racist. Damn, that didn't work. Bigot. Shoot, that didn't work. So that's not just what I dealt with this weekend and still dealing with. I'm sure when I put my Twitter back on, I'm going to have some fun. But within our own industry, that's happening. And what's incredibly bizarre to me is that in general, the adult industry's left, and they're very much my body, my choice, except for when you don't believe as they do regarding what you want to do with your body. Right. And that is because you don't want to do a scene with a trans person. Why does that make you trans? Why does that make you have a phobia about them? they're human. They're probably fabulous. I don't know. Never met them. That's my choice. Oh my God, you're horrible. Or vice versa. You don't want to work with somebody who's a crossover. You don't want to work with that human because that's not your thing. You should have that right. Well, it's my body. Why don't I get to choose who I have sex with? Just because I'm a porn star doesn't mean I sleep with who you want me to, or you want me to, or you want me to. And I know, Candace, that you dealt with that as well. And I still don't get it. I genuinely do not understand how you can be both my body, my choice, and scream at others who don't do what you want them to do.
It's almost like they're like your body, my choice. Which
Well,
is like,
that is what it's become.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it, they attack, and it's a collective attack. They're organized. They get together and they make the decision and they just pound. What they don't understand about people like Candace and myself is we'll pound back. You're not going to change me because you're mean.
Yeah, I think it's you guys, the two of you are actually braver working in your industry and having the views that you have than like just about anybody else. It's so much braver to like, even Brandi, for you to just like go to the Turning Point event. Like you knew that you kind of risked being recognized, and I'm sure part of you was prepared for either some kind of something. I'm sure you planned to go to this event and you weren't thinking nothing will happen, no one will recognize me, I will have zero conflict.
No, of course I didn't think that.
But you still went.
And the reason behind that was genuinely because of my belief that these conservatives did hold true the inclusive statements that they make, and that they're anti-cancel culture, welcome all with these views. So yes, in my core, because I know human nature, I was a little bit like, okay, I'm going to give it a try because I have every right to go, but yeah, I've been through this before. I know there's a possibility. So when it happened, it's like right into the core. And then you collect yourself, you get over it, and you go, okay, now what? Now what? And Twitter decided what? I didn't take it to Twitter. They did. I'm dealing with it. You just deal with what's thrown at you and you carry on.